I want you to picture something. You've been a gigging drummer for decades. You're well known and beloved in drum circles. And you've even been playing with one of the most celebrated guitar virtuosos of the past 50 years. Then the phone rings and everything changes.
Scully texted me, "I have to call you, it's urgent." And I was like worried. We just chatted for a bit and then he started off, "I talked to Geddy and Al and they might want to do something again and they thought about you. Are you up to talk to them?"
You've just been offered one of the most storied drum chairs in modern music history, whose previous occupant was a beloved member of the band, who is family. But also whose iconic fills are air drum material for die-hard fans who don't even play the drums. And those same fans call the previous drummer the professor. If you take this gig, everything you play will be under a microscope. People will make side-by-side comparison videos of you and the old drummer playing the same songs note for note. Now, the question for you. Do you take it? Today, we're talking about the person who received that very phone call, and she said yes.
Regarding the band's new drummer, Anika Nilles.
They're bringing along Jeff Beck's drummer.
And he had been working with this drummer named Anika Nilles.
Anika Nilles. Was that difficult for you, or do you feel like by virtue of you having so much early experience playing gigs that you can pretty naturally just get into a flow state when you perform?
No, I had definitely to train that. And it all, like for me, a game changer, that direction was to create the headspace to listen to the music and to the musicians on stage completely like separated from what I'm doing on the drums.
In spite of the overwhelming positivity Rush fans have sent her since the first performances started to hit social media, make no mistake, she's walking a tightrope. Miss any of those iconic fills or grooves, and risk fans complaining you're ruining the legacy. But play Neil Peart's parts verbatim, and they'll say you're a tribute band. Or maybe that's exaggerated. Let's just say Geddy and Alex want someone who puts their own stamp on things, and from what I saw during the hours I spent in Reddit threads, so do the fans. Oh yeah, and you have 18 records worth of material to learn. Well, eventually. Originally it was around 35 songs. And yet, this unassuming fusion drummer from Germany stepped up to the plate and crushed it. 2 years ago, before the Rush gig was even a twinkle in Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson's eyes, I had the opportunity to interview Anika. I wanted to know, even at the time, what about her personality, work ethic, life circumstances, etc. made her so good? At ground level, what I'm digging for with everybody is, how did they get so good? When you first began the drums, did it feel easy to you?
Yeah, because I started as a kid, and as a kid you don't think much, you just play and have fun, and it felt totally natural, kind of, yeah.
Now, after the Rush debut, those answers carry even more weight.
But it's like transferring something to the audience is key to keep them with you.
So today we'll look at the difficult, and borrowing with thanks, a title convention from Drum Beats Online, impossible job Rush's new drummer had. We'll talk about what makes it difficult. We'll do some side-by-side comparisons of the band's classic songs with Neil. And not for the purpose of this being in any way a contest, but rather to showcase how Anika stayed true to the spirit while bringing her own voice to the role. And we'll dig into some of those interview responses she gave me 2 years ago to get clues as to what made her prepared to take this once-in-a-lifetime challenge. I'm Nate, this is the 80/20 Drummer. Stay tuned. So folks, today's video is brought to you by me, the 80/20 Drummer. If you enjoy these breakdowns of great drummers and want to go a little deeper with your own drumming, you might enjoy my free 3-video mini course, which you can get by clicking the link below the video and telling us where to send on the next page. Now, on with the video. Chapter 1, why the gig is difficult. I want to break this into a few layers. There are bands with easier or more demanding repertoire. There are bands in which everyone knows the iconic drum fills and will be air drumming along. There are bands that have had the same lineup for decades. But Rush is the rare band that's all three. Reason one, this is a demanding gig, the song difficulty. Many bands write songs that are verse, chorus, verse. No offense to them, but if you got the gig with Maroon 5, you'd probably be making a cheat sheet about the exceptions to normal song structure. And some bands have bangers that you can kind of intuit your way through, like Chad Smith's internet famous One Take, in which he killed 30 Second to Mars' song The Kill. At the other end of the spectrum, you've got bands like Dream Theater and Frank Zappa. Many Rush songs are closer to the Dream Theater side of the equation. Take YYZ or Subdivisions. They're not quite counting exercises, but you have to memorize a lot of sections with different meters. Even a more conventional song like Tom Sawyer switches fluidly between 4/4 and 7/8.
Today's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you.
But some of the more progressive stuff like Xanadu has multiple sections. Then remember, for the tour, you're learning about 35 songs, memorized. But plenty of bands have challenging songs. But where you can kind of still do your own thing over them. Which brings us to Challenge 2. Challenge 2, the specificity. In a song like Subdivisions, every single section has an iconic Neil beat associated with it. And fans know those parts. Play a hi-hat where Neil played a ride cymbal, and you're going to hear about it from somebody. But far and away the biggest specificity challenge is stuff like this. Phil Collins has one fill everybody kind of knows. In the entire repertoire of The Police, there were one or two iconic Stewart fills all the fans wanted to hear. In the Rush catalog, it's every single fill. Peart played compositionally and would often compose a whole drum part rather than playing improvisational. If you listen to 2 takes of Vinnie Colaiuta on Ten Summoners Tales, they're different. But Peart developed the best fill for the moment, so any drummer taking the drum chair in Rush needs at the very least to be in relation to those fills. We'll talk more later about the difference between that and playing them literally. Oh yeah, and we've already covered the fans and Neil's role in the band.
Whoa!
Hey, who are you guys?
We have the laminate. We have the laminates.
Challenge 3, Peart as a fixture. Drumeo already clipped these Paul Rudd, Jason Segel moments from I Love You Man and Jack Black from School of Rock, but they go to demonstrate the depth of the reverence Rush fans have for Neil. Neil was the drummer for Rush for 41 years and played and wrote on 18 studio albums. And he didn't just contribute the odd song or two, he was deeply involved as a lyricist, with lyric credits on something like 94% of Rush's non-instrumental songs. When the band did the R40 tour in 2015, they announced it would be their last tour. After that, Peart retired from drumming and the band stopped performing. We get it, Neil was a venerated pillar. But what about the drummer replacing him? Or taking his chair, I should say. You have to be really careful with language around these things.
I'll stand like this.
We all like this now?
Chapter 2, Anika. On October 6, 2025, Alex and Getty dropped a video on Rush's YouTube channel in which they announced their intention to go back on tour.
Where we have to announce that we've made a decision to go back on tour.
And introduced their new drummer, Anika Nilles.
We all like this?
Immediately, Rush fans, rushed to the internet to find anything they could about the new drummer. I actually found out about it first because I started getting new comments on the 6-month-old interview I'd done with Anika. Anyway, what people soon discovered was that this drummer's drummer from Germany, already playing for Jeff Beck, was well up to the task. For those of us who were longtime Anika fans, we remember the Jeff Beck stuff, sure, but also her many videos with her own band. Not to mention the ample practice clips of her mixing subdivisions and experimenting with rhythm, genre, texture, and everything else. We'll get to the other clips, but I remember asking her about Jeff Beck, and she had this to say. What's one big lesson you've learned, a big insight you've had as a result of playing with Jeff?
Even more, it's all about the emotion. Forget about the technique and the music theory. When you are on stage, it's about pure emotion.
Which is more prescient than it seems. Because it was via Jeff Beck's guitar tech, who was also Geddy's longtime bass tech, that Anika entered the conversation for the drum roll.
Yeah, my bass tech, Scully, also worked for Jeff Beck, and he played his last 3 or 4 tours. And the drummer on the last tour, obviously, was Anika Nilles. And I remember him, this was a few years ago now, I guess it's been over 2 years ago, where he came home from a tour just raving about her abilities and what a great person she was.
According to Geddy and Alex, they reunited at the Taylor Hawkins Memorial in 2022, and briefly on Lee's book tour the following year, and started talking about how they missed playing.
You know, when we had played in London in 2022 for the Taylor Hawkins tribute, that was really the first intense time we had spent any time playing our material with other people. In fact, we played with 2 different drummers that night, Dave Grohl and Omar Hakim, and it was a really interesting process. And I think what it showed us was that, you know, those songs are still alive and they're still very much a part of us, and playing them with other people wasn't a bad thing. It was an exciting thing.
Before they knew anything about Anika, they realized they'd need a formidable drummer, willing to learn a lot of the Peart intricacies of the songs, but also their own person, with enough of a voice eventually to put their own stamp on the music.
Geddy and Alex saw you play with Jeff. Is that how you guys got connected, or how they first heard of you?
It was actually Scully, who is Geddy's bass tech.
After Scully recommended Anika, according to a New York Times interview, they did a 5-day audition in the spring of 2025, of which Lifeson says everything clicked and she absolutely nailed it.
When you first came in to rehearse, was your process, you just started listening to records, you kind of had an idea to what songs you guys were going to play? And
Yeah, I mean, after Scully and I called, I was like diving directly into the Rush rabbit hole and just listen to everything I could catch, like the music, videos, interviews, live shows, everything you can find online, basically.
Which brings us back to the Juno Awards. In the early tour performances, and the almost universal positive reactions from fans.
First of all, Anika is friggin' awesome.
Rush's new drummer. I've seen some clips. I am a big fan.
So if you're not among the millions of fans who have already watched the videos, you might be wondering, how did she do? Well, let's talk about that now. Chapter 3, Niles' tour performances. Does that happen automatically for you? If you work on mechanics, it just comes out and you're playing? Or was there some sort of method you needed to invent or work on in order to facilitate things you practice in the shed coming out and you're improvising better?
I would say there is one step in between which is important and necessary, at least to me. So when I work on mechanics and like new things, then on some point I have to play it along with music, along with loops. So that definitely helps to get the things going and get a feeling, like create a feeling for different music styles to put it maybe in, or and get a feeling if it works in this kind of music style or not, the tempo you play it on, if it works in a tempo for a specific song or not.
Now let's do something a lot of channels have done, but through a different lens. Instead of comparing famous Peart parts with Anika's note for note, I'm just going to highlight some of the ways Niles interpreted some of Rush's most famous songs, basically to answer the question, what was the result of this grand experiment Rush ran? But I'll spoil the end. The fans love Niles' interpretations. To examine why, let's look at a song called Subdivisions. When I listen to the original, what jumps out at me is Neil's on top of the beat playing. It's got an urgency to it, and we see some of the trademark specificity of the drum parts. If I skip ahead to the part of the verse when the song changes to 7/8 from 4/4, listen to Peart's doubles here. Now let's listen to Anika play it live. In the first few bars, we hear faithfulness to Peart's part, but even in the opening beat, some variations in note placement.
In first place, it was the music itself and the arrangements and the grooves and what happened, which I got inspired to. And I never got that deep and studied other music so deep that I was playing stuff really like one-to-one. Like making a transcription and really like playing it one-to-one. I did that a couple of times, but it was never like a thing I enjoyed, you know. I always made my steps away from that really early on and tried to make my own things out of it.
In the 7/8, we hear a more quantized version, still faithful to Peart's part. Let's stop here for a second and zoom out so you can see what I'm talking about. Rush needed a drummer that wasn't simply going to carbon copy Neil, but who would also be faithful to his parts. And you can start to see here already evidence that these are inspired and deeply informed by what Peart played, but they're still uniquely her own. Something that's going to come up again and again in these comparisons is Anika using a literal Peart part like a template, then sometimes adding her own embellishments when she's established she knows the material, and sometimes making a mark with something as subtle as her feel. Let's look at a classic, La Villa Strangiato. The memorable part of this song for me is the refrain, bum bum ba, and then the fill into the transition. If we listen to Neil play it, he's got his trademark tight but elastic groove. Now let's check out Anika's interpretation. In a weird way, she's looser than Neil, but also more locked to the grid. Not saying one approach is better, just noting the difference. And in this long instrumental with more room to stretch, we hear more trademark Anika fills, where she doesn't do verbatim what Neil does. One song that sticks out for Anika's feel being the differentiator is Xanadu. I love how Anika brings an elasticity to the 7/8 part, and also leans in just a hair to the kick doubles, bringing them up in the mix. Without doing anything obviously different, she's still personalizing the song. Let's listen to Neil on the original. Neil's doubles are lower in the mix, and he doesn't bring out the first one as much as Anika. When the beat comes in, his feel is more elastic and loping. One more example before we get to the money bit, which I'm sure you're hotly anticipating. YYZ, one of my favorite intros in the Rush catalog. Neil? Now Anika. Two things pop out to me here. Again, we hear Anika's command of subdivision in the kick drum, which gives the pocket a little modern drum snap. But also her use of effect symbols to change the texture without changing the literal part.
If I have to think about a pattern and I want to bring it out on stage, then I don't do it because it's not the time. It's not the time to practice something. And as soon as I start off thinking, what was the pattern again? Then forget it. I don't do it.
Finally! After listening to this performance, it's easy to conclude that it was inevitable she'd get the gig, but it wasn't.
So we started doing it sort of regularly, just playing Rush songs together. He would come over and we would catch up and drink too much coffee and then go play Rush music. because you need a lot of coffee to play Rush music.
If we back way up to that audition back in 2025, it was far from inevitable when she walked into the room. Over the following 4 days, according to interviews, Anika proceeded to wow Geddy and Alex with her technical ability, such that by the end of day 4, there was no doubt she could technically handle the gig. But there was still one hurdle to overcome. Here's what Geddy told The Guardian in February of 2026. The first 4 days were up and down, and she was nervous and she was jet lagged and we were unsure. We had a little chat the day before. I don't know, Al, is this gonna work? We talked about all the things we liked about her and what a work ethic she has. Nice person and deep knowledge, deep technical ability. So there's a lot of positives. So let's not be hasty. And we went into that last day and she just fucking nailed it.
By the fourth day, Ged and I, we talked and we weren't quite sold on it. There was something that just wasn't there quite. And we talked to her about the importance of the feel that Neil had in his drum arrangements. And then on the fifth day, which was the final day that we rehearsed, bang, she just nailed all those songs. And that turned everything around. And we again got together at the studio and thought, okay, this is really going to be worth doing.
Chapter 4, how did she do it?
It's all about the emotion. Forget about the technique and the music theory. When you are on stage, it's about pure emotion.
Or rather, why was she the right person to step into this gig? Because a more arrogant drummer might not have felt nerves, but also might not have been willing to absorb the Neil canon and honor the original spirit of the band. It's my contention that Anika was kind of a unicorn. A developed, mature drummer with tons of technical ability and gig experience, but also enough humility to step into that drum chair and grow with it, rather than simply imposing exclusively her vision onto it. And there's one thing I want to highlight. Niles hadn't had everything easy. During her college years, she'd had to dig deep and work to become the drummer she was.
I had some struggles to really build a routine in the beginning with no help. So you have to try different things and what is working. And nowadays it's like that I have like my topics where I know what I have to work on, and it's I have exercises to go through, but I do also a lot of improvisation around it and try to incorporate stuff which I'm working on, and try to make it fluid and bring it to my daily playing so that it just comes out when I want to have it.
And it's my contention that it's that very discipline that allowed her, in the moments that counted, to let go. When the call came, Anika answered. She drew on her humility, adventurousness, deep work ethic, and finally, ability to let go and let the music happen. And in so doing, she accomplished the impossible, or very difficult, breathing new life into a band mourning one of the most storied drummers in history, and giving Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson a new lease on life and Rush. Well, folks, hope you enjoyed that one. Speaking of digging deep, that was a deep research week, my gosh. Anyhow, we don't have a transcription for this week, but if you want to support the channel and support yourself, I do have a completely free 3-video mini course you can only get by subscribing to my list. And hey, if you want to subscribe just for the course and then unsubscribe, cool. But I think you're going to want to stay on the list. Anyway, to get that, just click the link below the video player. Tell us where to send it on the next page. Dudes, it's been real. Always enjoyed these. See you again real soon in another Lesson of the Week.